Hey everybody, it's Aaronator here, and we have our 15th episode of our Vancouver Canucks GM mode commentary here on the PS4, guys. In the last episode, we went and did the Year 4 draft, and I'm just going to let you know, you guys should go check it out, because we made some moves, and you may have noticed by the episode name, we're trading up. We went and selected Joe Veleno with the 2nd overall pick. He's a great center playmaker, 80 overall. He will be very helpful in our future to build a cup contender or playoff contender as of right now, and that's what we're going to try and do in this episode. So guys, we are going to be going into free agency with 16 million in cap space approximately. Okay, 17 million, forgive me. And I have lots of players that I'm interested in getting, and a lot of guys that you guys said that you think I should go after. But pretty much everybody, anybody that left a comment regarding players, they were mostly prospects that you guys said, and I'm sort of so on that, because you have to give prospects ice time, right? And you want to put them in the right roles, and you want to make sure obviously they have that potential. But the only problem is we had a lot of centers and we had a couple of goalies, but I will agree on the 2 prospects that were suggested. First, we had the high fringe starter, 19-year-old goalie Mark Grommet-Bauer. That's a great name. Could even be German. Thank goodness for Nathan. He will have a German in this mode. His stats seem to be pretty all-around. He's a minor backup goalie, so we should be able to play. We also have McBain in the minors, who's also a high fringe starter. So basically both 3.5 green stars. And one of them, if not Demko, should be a starting goalie. And hopefully, I'm really hoping that Demko becomes an 87+. We really need that out of a goalie, at least. It'd be awesome to see him as an elite goalie, but we'll just have to develop him right. There's not really any starting goalies that we could go after anyways in free agency, so we won't go after any. We have Markstrom and Demko. We'll see how the season starts with them. There's also a goalie named Tuukka Rask. You may have heard of him, and he's on the trading block. So I want to know what you guys think about trading for Rask, which could be an option. First, let's make sure we sign Grommet-Bauer. Let's just give him a bit more. We will do the same for Bitten as well. You guys said the center Bitten. Girard is a bit older and a bit better overall, but he is low potential. Actually, no, I thought I saw Bitten as lower overall. But Bitten he has decent poise. He has decent face-offs, good durability. Only thing that's a bit less is his skating category, and his offensive stats are a bit all-around with his puck control and hand-eye there. But you know what? He seems to could be a solid center. We can always move him to the wing. We're going to have to move some of our centers to the wing, so we'll try it. We'll just go 0.67 for that. It's 0.675. There was a couple other prospects and a couple other players, really. Mainly players that I was looking at. So first of all, we got to go after a center, definitely. We don't want to put Horvat and or Sutter both into roles that don't suit them. And obviously, Horvat already has been playing second-line center, and his role is a third-line scoring forward. But what we're going to do is, David Backes is my choice out of all the centers that are available. There's only really Little and Backes. There's also Hansel, but he's dropped a bit. He could be a nice contract, but at 34 years old, David Backes, he brings defense, he brings physicality, he brings the poise. One thing I like about him is he's still, although he's slowing down, especially in goal totals, he has the offensive ability. He's going to drop. I'm just going to assume he's going to get around 40 to 50 points, especially playing on the top line this year on the Canucks, likely, unless Brown and or Horvat boosts up to like 90 overall. I doubt that, but Backes will be playing that first-line center role for us, hopefully. Little, the reason I decided not to go with Little is because he wants a bit more long-term. Although we do need a more offensive-minded center, I think Backes can provide that. We are paying him more, but it's only for 1 year, which is good. And Brown and Horvat and Sutter are all pretty much our centers of the future, if not Castles as well, and Veleno. So, I mean, we don't want to clog up the middle with Little. Backes will only be a 1 year guy, so if we are a really bad team, we obviously can trade him. His age, I'm not sure if that will drop him at all, but obviously contract's a big thing. But because I am willing to pay this much for a 1 year guy he's a good center, and this makes sense for a free agent, David Backes, hopefully you signed for 8.5 at 1 year. So we're going to try and see if we can get Backes. That's pretty much it for like top-notch roster players. We pretty much have our entire forward lineup and our defensive lineup all filled out. I want to grab some guys for depth and or the AHL and or the fourth line, just all around in that position and all on the left wing. There were about 3 guys I was actually interested in, and I'm only probably going to sign about one of them, and maybe I'll sign all of them, maybe I won't. But I just want to show you reasons why. Because we're a bit more of a team that's going to be trying to say, I guess we're just trying to make we're trying out players, especially because guys like Dorsett and depth guys. We're going to have to find some guys that fit the bill and that can be solid performers. Whether we're a good or bad team, we have to find those guys. And so I'm going to show you all 3 guys that I'm interested in for depth and possibly making an impact later on. So first of all, we're going to go with Brian Ferland. He brings a good physical edge. His like everything. The one thing I was really interested about this guy is, although he's like this overall, I looked at his stats. He's always been a plus player. He's been a physical player. His shooting percentage obviously has been pretty good. He has had good goals, obviously the AHL, but he's a fourth line forward. He's 26 years old. He has a good skating category, which with endurance. So if he does get better, up to 80 overall, all of his general stats, defensive and offensive, may get better. But I may pass on him just because his overall stats is really only in endurance and physicality. As for a fourth liner, I would prefer Brett Bulmer, which is the guy that I'm going to be going after, because again, I like his endurance. His offensive ability it's not focused in the offensive categories, but he's good defensively and a good physical player. So this could be also another option. He's solid. He's gotten 10 goals in the AHL. So I mean, he gets lots of penalties, but we're going to sign one of them, no doubt. Maybe both of them, we'll have to see. And then the last guy right here is a guy who would be on an entry-level deal for 3 years, Vozenlik. And the reason I like him is because his defensive category is also pretty solid. His endurance is already 82, which is nice, and hopefully his skating will get up there as well as all of his other categories. But basically the 3 main things: his offensive awareness, which should help him get more offense, because you have to have the sense of hockey. You have to know plays and be good. Not just with natural skill, that's sort of like Cody Hodgson. He had the puck skills in the shooting categories, but did he have the senses necessarily? That's with some players. They just don't have the mindset. As well as poise at 76. We don't have any poise players, especially later on. It will be difficult. So first of all, I would like to sign Vozenlik, and we should be able to sign him for 0.65. I like his ability. Just those 2 specific stats, offensive awareness and poise especially, could be very helpful. Between Ferland and Bulmer, Bulmer wants 1 year, Bulmer wants 1 year. Bulmer wants 2 years. Ferland wants 1 year. There you go. So let's try signing him for 0.975. And you know what? I will go after both of them. They can play in the AHL. They don't if they don't do well in the NHL, which I'd like to bring most of them up for. Then we can always send them down and they can play like fourth line in the AHL. It's just for 1 year. I want to try out some stuff. So then, because if none of them work well as a depth guy, then I mean, we're probably going to be a bad team at that point. So as long as they play solid, but we'll have to see. Bulmer signs, Ferland signs, Bitten signs, Grummet Bauer signs, and Vozenlik signs. That's very nice. And David Backes wants to win, so we'll have to wait a bit and see. It's simming a lot. I really hope he didn't leave, because that would be very unfortunate. David Backes is still there. That's very nice. New Jersey is interested in him. So we're going to try signing him for 1.75. I know you guys may be disagreeing with this, but first of all, he's still one of the only centers left. Again, I don't want to put all the pressure on Horvat and Brown to succeed, and I think Backes will do well. If not, I have one other center or 2 that I could probably go after. Not in trade, but still free agency, more depth-wise. Unfortunately, we will have to try playing those guys, and that's really unfortunate that David Backes did not sign with the Canucks. So now we have a problem. We do not have a center. Great. Okay, so the one other guy I was going to possibly go after was Uhre, but I think because the only reason he's an 82 overall was because he was on the Penguins last year. He had 13 goals, plus 12 at the fourth line. That's why I like him. His stats seem to be good, but I think that's mainly from morale. I do like a lot of his stats, his shooting category, especially with that morale. If he does, and I mean, he has a bit of potential to still become a 4/3 liner, better than 80 overall, because I believe that's what he would be, just based on gut and feeling and morale stuff. So I'm not sure if we would be able to sign him, but for now, I'm going to pass on him. I'm going to see what we have going into the season, and this is going to be troublesome. So I'm going to need to know what you guys think. Should we trade for a guy like Rask? Should we trade for a center? Should we trade for both? How much is it going to take? Who are we going to have to give up? Who are we willing to give up? And just all those. So I wanted to also, I'm not going to skip this. I want to talk to you guys for a second. I've been talking this entire video, haven't I? But the one thing I wanted to let you guys know is, well, first of all, I do appreciate your how much you guys have been, hopefully, at least in this case, enjoying our videos from BC Productions. You guys watched tons. We had already 2 days. I saw 155 views on the best moments. I was so surprised. It might have just been the name of the episode, maybe NHL 16 best moments. That's what people search up. I have no idea. But, I mean, or if you guys are just watching it repeatedly because you like it, or someone's just doing that to make me feel good. I don't know. I don't care. Well, I do care. Okay, so the one thing I do want to let you know is, obviously, I will be letting you guys know that I am getting busy, and I don't know how much I'm going to have time for recording, but I'm going to try and record as fast as I can, especially with NHL 17 coming up. This is going to be a troublesome year. This year, I have a gut feeling we're not going to be a great team, so we'll have to check. So Uher is still there. So if we want to, he's actually a top 6 forward for potential. So you know what? I'm gonna even try signing him right now. I'm going to do that because I like the ability to possibly get something like that. I checked before, the compensation would be just this, to not give up anything, so we'll see if we can sign him. Pittsburgh, I'm assuming with signings of depth, they won't have the space or at least the cap to sign these guys, so I think we should be okay. Let's see if there are any potential guys aside that could be helpful. Girard is a low elite. That's why I sort of liked him. I just had a feeling he might get good. I had a feeling. Raymakers is 20 years old, high fringe starter. We already have a guy. So if you guys want us to sign low elite center Luc Girard, we could do that. But we'll see. We have a lot of centers. We can obviously move guys to the wing. We can obviously trade some guys. That's interesting. Lundqvist and Matt Murray are interested to be on the trade block. I actually looked at Matt Murray. I didn't want to let you guys know about him, but he's on the trade block. The thing is, he has 3 years left on his deal, and Pittsburgh has 1 year left on Fleury's deal. So it's sort of like they'd be more at this point, and he's an 89 overall. Like, why would you do that? That just it says they want to give him up, 3 years left. You'd want to give up Fleury. Matt Murray is now a legit goalie. Tristan Jarry is also going to be probably a backup. Maybe they want to keep both of them. Maybe we want, I don't know. You guys can let me know if you think it makes sense to trade for Murray. If so, with Jarry coming up and Fleury still being the better goalie, apparently, I wouldn't mind trading for Matt Murray, but it has to make a lot of sense. Demko, first of all, is an 84 overall, and that means we'd likely be giving up on Demko, sort of. Murray's basically already there at that point. We'd probably give up Markstrom, and again, this has to make sense. I'm not even sure if it makes sense at this point. In my opinion, it doesn't. You have to give them a top-notch forward and/or defenseman with a good cap hit. You can't screw around with them. Like Besser would be a good one. 2 years at $2 million, and the kind of player he is, that could be a good signing. Brown, Liljegren, we're trading for a Corey Schneider, and he's even younger than a Corey Schneider at this point, Matt Murray. So we have to not give up Bo Horvat. I'm not doing that, but I'm gonna have to. You guys are gonna have to let me know. But also, I should double check to see how Rask has developed into this next season, if he's dropping at all. That's interesting. High franchise for those two. But they have Subban. So again, 31 years old. Rask could be there at around $7 million almost. 31 years old. He's still a legit good goalie, elite goalie, it says. And I think we could need a goalie. So which one would be the right one? And if not, maybe we just play Demko and Markstrom and see what happens. Maybe this is another less successful year, and if it is, we'll have to figure out what we're going to do with it. So we can also check out Lundqvist and see how he is. I'm probably not going to like Lundqvist because 86 overall, 3 years at $8 million. I'm really not interested in doing that. Even if he does retire after 1 year, I don't know. It's just not the kind of thing I'm interested in doing. As for centers, we'll have to just check and see what our lineups are like. So I was gonna do some simming this season, but I'll do some in the next episode. I want you guys to have your input on trades and stuff, and what do you think I did and did not do right. We'll see what happens. So obviously this seems to be our defense for the NHL, and Jews should be a depth defenseman, so he will be the 7th guy. We'll have to bring down a couple forwards. That's probably the reason why we can't bring him up. Let's see. Let's bring out Grenier, Ferlin, and Gauntz. And I think you guys already noticed that some of our top players that are there in the NHL right now. And if you look, Jimmy Vesey's 87 overall, Bayerchi's 86. Well, these guys are developing into the kind of guys we want. I'm so glad that Vesey got better. He is just, I think he's not like a first liner, but that cap, I just feel like this guy is like legit going to be one of our top players, if not assistant captain, if not captain. Hopefully he gets to 90. I hope VC makes it to that level, because his game is just really nice. Mateau, he's still at his same old, so I think he won't be growing too much more. If he does, then that'd be great, but we'll have to see. Bayerchi, he went back down to a top 6. He will be a top 6 forward. He's still a really nice overall player. You look at his defense, he's still even a solid guy. That we could even try him on the penalty kill if we want, but he's definitely a solid player. Bo Horvat, unfortunately, is not getting better, but that maybe we just need to wait till he gets to 25. Maybe that's it. We could even try him on the 3rd line if you guys think that's a great idea, to try and get him to still be that first liner of the future, which I wouldn't mind. Castles is now going to be a 3rd liner. He's going to be a very nice player to put on there. Besser is still 84 overall. Sutter could be a trading asset this year if we really don't like where he's coming from. Roden could be that depth guy because his morale seems to be bringing up overall wise. Bailey could be a nice 4th liner, although he is still considered a minor scoring forward. Bulmer. So we have a lot of guys that we can work with offensively, and especially guys in the AHL that are still here. We have Brown, we have Osmic, Veleno, and Abel should be still in there. Ferlin and Gauntz could possibly be coming up, but we'll have to check. So let's bring them up. Actually, let's keep down Ferlin. Let's bring up the guys who are ready. Bulmer and all those guys we're going to keep in the AHL for now. We're going to see who we have. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. So we can bring down Bailey because I don't think he's quite the guy. Let's look overall wise and who is probably going to be best for the NHL. I'd say Bulmer at this point. We'll have to check. I wouldn't mind playing Volzenilik just to see how he does. Some defense, goalies. You see we have a lot of goalies. Well, Schneider's there, but we have a lot of goalies. We have a minor starter and a minor backup, which is nice. Dreiger probably won't be here next year, or whenever his contract expires. So that should be it, guys. I think, well, we have to, did we bring up Juice? Yeah, we did. Okay, so with injuries on, hopefully, as long as we did put them on. I'm not sure with Daniel Steen gone if it's going to choose our captains for us. So first, I'm going to just put in guys like Bulmer. I'm just going to automatically put there, because I know best lines will probably mess it up. You know what? I will eventually do best lines at some point. So let's see what it does. And apparently all the captaincies have been given out already. Great. Just great. Schwery, Bailey, Abels, Bitten. He is top 6 forward still. Rustalainen, Ferland, Graham Knott. He's a bit down there. Grenier, Zalewski, Archibald. Hopefully our AHL is successful. Ronald McBain, Mikhail Dansk, Cliff Poo, Zhuknov, Musito Begenda. Goalies, Grimmett Bauer. Okay, so we got that. You guys can let me know who you think needs to be played. Obviously, I think these are pretty much the basic kind of things. Yeah, that should be okay. Vozenlik can play. Well, we can play this guy right side. I don't know. You guys can let me know. I think I would like to play Ferland up higher because I think he has some good skill. But you guys, obviously, Rustalainen actually came out of nowhere. So I don't know. You guys can let me know what you think about lines. Defensively, we have lots of defensemen that need to be played. And that's really unfortunate that Vikinainen is not as great, because before he was, if you remember, he was the guy who was also a medium elite in the same year as Liljegren. But apparently his potential has been dropping, and maybe because he hasn't been getting playing time, so that could be a problem. That's kind of unfortunate, but we'll have to see. As you can see, our centers, third line scoring forward, we have to look at who and who isn't available. Uher, since he's on the fourth line, he could play there. Brown could play. We could play him on the second line, although I'd like to have him on the third line. Keep him on that in that area. Osmic, he's a depth forward, so look at that defense, guys. I think we should make him a two-way forward because he is literally the best two-way forward. This is like our Yannick Hansen 2.0. Have him playing in the position we want him to. Castles is a third line forward. We may need to do something about this. Sutter, I'd like to keep Sutter for the second line. If we do trade for a center, he probably will be the guy to go. But at this point, I mean, we are in a bit of a bind. Do we want to play Brown on the second line? Castles, do we want to play him there? Like, what are we going to do? VC and Mateau seem to be on the first line. If we had, like, a center playmaker like Brown, we could do that. That may or may not rush his growth. That may help. That may not. With his contract, we could try this. I think this would be a great defensive line. Besser, Sutter, Bayerchi. That won't be. I have a feeling that would struggle as a line. Castles, Dorset, Bulmer could be interesting. Uher, if we get him, we could move out. We got to move out some guys. We'll have to see. If not, maybe that wasn't the right decision to get Uher, but I like his ability. Liljegren, I like everything about this guy. We're going to make sure he has as much ice time as possible. That makes sense for him, and he's going to be in whatever role we need him to be in. Even if a guy like Tanev needs to be on the bottom six, that's okay. Liljegren, whatever his role is, we need to put him in that role. Hutton, we're going to keep him as a number 4 defenseman, I think. I think we're going to keep Edler there on the top line because, you know, in previous years he has been able to get lots of offense, so hopefully maybe this will help if he's playing with Tanev as the top pairing. Goodbranson and these guys, hopefully playing in their roles will help them develop into better defensemen. Triamkin is still a top 6 defenseman. We'll have to figure out what to do with him. Otherwise, that could be decent. Demko and Markstrom obviously are our goalies there. I think Morale is just making Demko an 84 or whatever. Roden, you guys can let me know if you want to have him in the NHL or AHL. We can bring up Bullmore or Follin or anybody, whatever you guys think. I'd like to hear your opinions on lines and stuff. And then obviously trades for goalies and stuff. So you know what? It's 22 minutes approximately. So I'm going to show you guys what there are for trade block, and I'm actually going to go into each team, and we're going to look for a potential trade, because I think we may need to make a trade before the season starts. Goalies, I'm not sure if we need goalies, but if there's a big goalie available, then you can see it on here. So Rask is there. I know Detroit had a lot of goalies there. We could possibly trade for one of them. Hiller is available. I don't think he's that great anymore. Yeah, he's 77 overall. Lundqvist is there. He's still a legit thing if you want to. Maybe we retain Cap. I don't know. Anderson is there. Let's see. Philadelphia, Mike Smith. Yeah, he's not much of a goalie anymore. Let's see. Matt Murray is also available. Again, if you guys think that makes sense. I mean, again, the Canucks did trade Schneider. It makes sense. It's just then Demko isn't necessarily our goalie of the future, which in this GM mode, I was kind of hoping to see Demko and or Horvat all become great guys, but we have a lot of goalies. We can run them and we can play them and see how they do. Forwards, we could let's see, what do we have? Obviously, we can sign Girard, but we have a lot of centers. Again, you guys can let me know about all of that. Forward-wise, we could use a top-notch guy. So if Sutter has to go, we could make a package of Sutter and or just another couple other guys. Dorset could head out now if we want to let go of him now, but I'm okay with keeping him. Just anybody who seems like an extra player, we can move out. Defense, you guys can let me know, because I might make a video quick because I don't know how much time or how busy I'm going to be. But if at the trade deadline, I think guys that can be moved or need to be moved. 1 year left for Edler. He's top 6 defenseman for potential. We'll keep on playing him at the top role. We'll see if he drops them. Maybe we'll move back up Hutton or something. But guys that could be moved, obviously Hansen. He's at a good contract, but so we can keep him. Plus his potential isn't. It's okay. So Sutter, Hansen could be moved. Defensively, we could move out Edler or Triamkin even. And goalies, probably Markstrom. And then draft picks. If we're getting a top-notch player, I don't mind giving up a first-round pick. But only if, hopefully more if that was a goalie. Because I don't know. We'll have to see. But obviously, there are some options for centers. I don't think there's too many big names that are still out there. I will do my due diligence. I guess you can say that. Just for a quick thing, this is not fair. Oh my gosh, they even got Pulkkinen. What the heck? Timo Pulkkinen. Dubois. Is he a first line center right now? He's a second line forward. Oh my gosh, his stats are really nice. So maybe Dubois is a nice guy to go after. Remember, we're trading within the division if this happens. Pulkkinen, what is his cap like? He's a second liner. Oh my gosh. 1 year at 1 point nothing. And this is the guy. Look at his defense. Like, what the heck? You know what? The Oilers are going to be stacked. They are stacked. They just need a goalie. Because Talbot, what are you going to do? I wanted to say they have a lot of goalies, obviously, in Detroit. Centers, I don't see much there. Yurko's available, but yeah. Koivu. Like, I've been looking quite a few guys, and I haven't found too many fits. Aside from guys like obviously the guys on Edmonton, Boston wise, you could trade for Krejci. He's 88 overall, $7 million, 3 years left. They don't want to give him up, and that's why it may not make as much sense. If we would want to go for a guy, it may be a longer term guy like Dubois. Obviously, we do have center prospects, but we may have to move them. You guys have to let me know. There's a lot of stuff that needs to happen. I think we need to make some trades eventually. We could do that at the trade deadline. We can do it now. I'd really want to make the playoffs as soon as possible, but if we need to do one more year, don't worry. We can obviously have another year. But anyways, guys, it was a longer episode. I was rambling a lot, but I wanted to give you much info I wanted to give you guys as much info as possible. So for free agents that we need to sign, that could still be there. Whether or not we get Uher, if there's any guys possibly to trade even now, if there's guys we want to trade for now, just let me know, guys. I want to hear what your thoughts are on this. But otherwise, that's the end of the episode. I hope you guys enjoyed this episode, and I will see you guys in the next one.